I'm glad to be here with you guys. Exciting. Yes. It's exciting because this is the first time I'm doing the Breed Without Greed with you live on my artist page, Zeta Light. I've been locked out of Facebook for a while and I'm still struggling. I'm battling with being able to recover my Facebook. So we are going to be having our Breed Without Greed right here until I'm able to have it back. So stay with me. They wake up. Let's build together. A special good morning to every one of you listening to us live on CBS Radio FM 101.0 this morning. It's such a joy for me to know that you are alive, you are strong, you are kicking, and your enthusiasm is still very much alive to chase your dreams for 2024. And I'm happy to welcome you all to the second half of this year 2024. I believe that if we were told that we'll make it to this point of the year, some of us would have said no, or some of us would have doubted the possibility of us being able to make it to the second half of the year 2024. Probably difficulties, probably challenges, be it security challenges, be it personal health issues, family issues. We would have so focused on them so much that we started thinking that maybe at any point anything could happen to us at any time. We've had a lot of that. A lot of challenges have met us this season, and you can attest to the fact that there are so many people you actually journeyed into 2024 with, and right now, as we speak, some of them are in their graves. Some of them are long in their graves. Some of them are still in the mortuaries. And, excuse me, and you are still alive. Being alive at a time like this is a great testimony. It's something we should so celebrate. And especially considering the part of the world in which we are right now, Northwest region, Cameroon. My God, it's not easy. But I thank God that you are alive. I thank God that we are all still breathing. I thank God that we still have hope for better days ahead of us. And this morning, I thought to come again so we can share quality information on our program, The Breed Without Greed, on CBS Radio FM 101.0. We've been running this program since 2018 or 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And by the grace of God, we are still on. And the goal is to make sure that you and I are able to receive enough inspiration, enough information, enough guide that will help you to become relevant in your generation. Excuse me if I have to be coughing from time to time, you just have to bear that for today. So, the whole idea is that we should be able to have what it takes to contribute in the betterment of our communities, in the betterment of our nations, in the betterment of our world. So by virtue of the little experience that we've been able to accumulate for the years through my work with New Breed Africa Foundation, the organization that by the grace of God I was able to found in since 2015, and have been on it and on with different kind of projects, working with youth, working with women and girls, working with talented persons, working with persons with disabilities. With all of these experiences put together, working with orphans and less privileged persons, at least by the grace of God, I have something small that I can always share on different aspects of life that can help us to as well rise up and determine to be a part of the beauty of our world, to be a part of those that are contributing to restore beauty, to restore glory, to restore joy and fulfillment to our world. And for a while now, we've been on setting wrong priorities as a little thing with deadly consequences. It's been a theme for years. We've been on, excuse me, looking at little things with deadly consequences, trying to look at those things that do not really seem to be big. They do not really look destructive, but they really are. They may just be attitudes, they may just be a particular routine we keep, they may just be particular principles we choose to live our lives by or to practice in our respective careers or businesses. They may just be a particular thought pattern that we keep, they may just be a particular perspective or mindset, things that may not be physically very painful for you to know that, okay, these things are destructive, but in reality, they can cause us so much more harm than even the things that are physically painful on our bodies. These things may not be like the knife that's cutting through your hand for you to know that this can kill you. It might not be like that fire that's burning, consuming your clothes, consuming your body, and peeling your skin off to make you know that it can kill you, but it might just be pride, which of course we've seen in the course of of our program this year. It might just be setting wrong priorities, which is what we are dwelling on now, which ends up taking even your life and destroying the lives of other people around you. It looks so little, it looks so small, but it is deadly. It has deadly consequences. It has deadly consequences that you may not even be able to imagine until you find time like this that we always spend on CBS Radio FM 101.0 quite often to look at some of these things in detail, to see how destructive they could be if care is not taken. So we've been on setting wrong priorities as a little thing with deadly consequences. And today we are concluding on this particular topic. And next week, which is Saturday, same time, we will be coming back again from 11 to 11:45. We will be coming back again, and it will be the introduction of a new topic altogether. Excuse me. Now, we actually said that setting priorities simply means making the right scale of preference. Making the right scale of preference. You have a list of things that are important in your life, and some that are so important, some that are so important, some that are just important, some that are necessary. And when you go to this list, you look at that which is most important and you put it first. And the importance of every step you take, of everything you do in your life, is also checked by timing. It's also checked by time and the phase of your life in which you are. You should be able to understand the phase of life in which you are to be able to make the right priorities. If you do not know that your priorities, setting the right priorities is tied to timing, the right timing, to your understanding of the right timing, the right phase of your life per time, you will always set the wrong priorities. And when you set the wrong priorities, you are going to experience a lot of negative consequences that come with that. And we saw that sometimes when you set the wrong priorities, you cut your destiny short. You cut your destiny short because there are certain things that you decide to do today that derail your destiny path and cause you to start chasing something else other than who you are and the real thing you are supposed to be chasing with your life. When you make or you set wrong priorities for yourself, you cut your destiny short. We saw that already on the program. I'm sure that my viewers live on YouTube right now, they are a little bit lost with respect to um, the consequences we are talking about, excuse me. But for those that were following live on Facebook, we've handled the consequences of setting wrong priorities already. And one of such is that when you set wrong priorities, you cut your destiny short. When you set wrong priorities, you cause yourself unnecessary pain and suffering. You go through unnecessary pain and suffering. And you cause other people as well around you to suffer from your decision or from the step that you take. And when you set wrong priorities, you can as well hurry yourself into your early grave. You can push yourself into your early grave by setting just by setting wrong priorities. So it is very, very, very important for you to think well before you start setting priorities. Before you put anything on your list or on your scale of preference, you have to think and rethink. Excuse me. How important is this particular thing to my life right now, to my purpose right now, to my vision right now, to my life and my family? How important is this to my impact towards humanity? And all of that, you have to check and double check before you put something on your priority list at per time. For example, let's say that we have a kid, somebody gives birth to a child, and the child is probably just few months old. And simply because the child knows that humans carry 20 liter 20 liters containers, the child decides to, at the age of maybe 3 months, decides to ask the parent or ask anybody to put a 20-liter container on their head. How is that going to be? That is setting a priority, a work priority, a wrong work priority at that phase of your life. It is something that that child will eventually grow up to do. That is sure. That is something that the child will grow up to be able to carry a 20-liter container on his head or her head. But at the age of 3 months, the child cannot sustain that weight. So putting a 20-liter container on the head of a child who is just 3 months or who is just even 1 year or 3 years is killing that child. But does it mean that that child will never be able to carry a 20-liter container? No. When that child naturally respects the principle of growth and reaches the point of maturity where the bones are properly formed, the child is strong enough, healthy, mature enough to be able to carry the weight of a 20-liter container. When it is put on his or her head, you won't even need somebody to help put it on his or her head, but they will be able to lift it by themselves and put it on their head. With whatever content is there, they will be able to lift it by themselves and carry it home to their parents, be it water, be it whatever. So you have to understand that life works with time and different time frames and seasons. You have different stages and phases of your life which you have to respect, and all of this work in synergy with growth. All of this work in synergy with the law of growth and process, the law of the process, the law of growth. If you are unable to handle a particular challenge, it is because your level of growth and maturity is not enough for you to handle that challenge. But what if you decide to invite that challenge upon yourself when you are still immature, when you lack what it takes to handle it? It will kill you. It will destroy you. But does it mean that at any point of your life, you will not be able to have that particular challenge come and you are able to handle it? At a certain point in your life, you will pass through that challenge and you will feel like you never even faced a challenge at all. But why invite it upon yourself when you are not yet mature enough to handle that? Just like the story of the kid, of the child we are talking about, a 3 month old child trying to lift a 20-liter container. Is that even ever going to be possible? It's never going to be possible. And if somebody forcefully, if the child struggles to lift that up and cannot succeed, and somebody forcefully carries that 20-liter container and puts it on the head of that child, it will destroy that child. The child will die. That is what happens to a lot of us when we set the wrong priorities. When you set the wrong priorities, when you take something that you were supposed to do at the age of 20, at the age of 25, at the age of 30 in your life, and you bring it to your teens, or maybe you bring it to your life when you are just about 7 or just about 9, instead of that decision or that activity or that step helping you, it will destroy you. It will ruin your life. It will frustrate your life because you do not have the strength, you do not have the, from the physical to the mental to the emotional to the psychological to the spiritual maturity to be able to handle that. You are not even there yet. But you are dragging or you are pulling that particular step of your life and bringing it to that age of immaturity and trying to handle it, which of course I can tell you it would destroy you, it will frustrate you. You will just think, have you seen some people that grow up thinking that they are unable to make it in anything in life? Like you give up on yourself, you condemn yourself that you are not a good singer, you are not a good writer, you are not a good actor, you are not a good this, you are not a good businessman, you are not a good this or that, simply because you jumped into that particular career prematurely and you struggle to pull the stage in which other professionals are into your present age, into your present state of maturity, into your present state of development, and you find that you become incompetent. You try to compete with professionals in the field when you are still stepping into the field and you are yet an amateur. It is possible for you that when those professionals, they perform and you come up to perform, you make all of the mistakes that your lack of development will cause you to make. You will now start thinking that you are not good enough in that field. You will start thinking that you are not strong enough, you are not mature enough, or probably this may not even be my field of operation in life. This might not be my field of career. But meanwhile, it is your field of career, but you are still an amateur in the field, struggling to take the challenge of a professional. So you have to understand that in order for you to set the right priorities in life, life respects the law of growth, the law of development, the law of the process. It is a process you have to go through. You cannot try to write you cannot be in nursery one and you are struggling to write the exam that is written by somebody in the university. How do you expect to make it with in that kind of an exam? You are in nursery one, you register for maybe HND, and you are competing with people who have taken time and gone through nursery one, through primary school, through secondary school, and they've gotten even to year one of the university. They are through with that, and they are now in the second year writing now the higher national diploma. And you are still in nursery one. You get your parents, because your parents are rich, because your parents have what it takes, they now go and register you, a nursery one kid, to write the higher national diploma, HND. you get into the classroom and you are writing with those people, even if it is magic, will it work at that level for you? So you see, setting the wrong priorities can destroy your life. It can destroy your self-esteem. When you set the wrong priorities, the impact, the consequences of you setting wrong priorities can destroy your self-esteem and can give people the wrong impression about who you are. Let's still take, for example, that in your field of career, or whatever profession you find yourself in, you are just coming in as an amateur, you are just new in it, and you have professionals in the field, and there is a challenge that is put up for professionals in that field. You haven't gone through the process that might permit you to be able to stand up to that particular challenge, but you sign up for it, and you are ignorant about almost everything that concerns that particular field. You step into it and you are trying to do what you know nothing about, but expecting to have the right results. How will that even go for you? How will that even work? You will find out that you will be incompetent in that field. When they will put the test before all of you, the professionals will hit it. And you, who is just an amateur and still very ignorant about how things work in that field, you will you will miss it out. And when you miss it, you might think that it is something you can never do, which of course it's not true. The reason why you were not able to have the right result at that time, the reason why you were not able to perform in excellence at that particular time, is because you have not yet grown, developed yourself properly in that field. So there are still things in that field you are ignorant of. There are still secrets of success in that particular field that you are very much ignorant of. So the challenges of the field, when they confront you, you will still find yourself, you will still be found wanting, because you haven't developed yourself enough in that field. You have less knowledge in that field as compared to the experts and professionals you are standing up against. And because of this, sometimes some people go home condemning themselves and saying that I can never be able to sing. I'm like this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm supposed to be a singer. I'm not sure I'm supposed to be a dancer. I just got it so wrong today. And then you start condemning yourself. And some people never recover from that. They never have the opportunity to recover from that anytime in their lifetime, which is bad. So that is how dangerous it is when you set wrong priorities. When you set wrong priorities for yourself, my brother, my sister, they can so destroy your self-esteem. They can so destroy your morale. They can so kill your enthusiasm for life that you will not be able to recover from it except you receive help from somewhere, somehow. So don't rush in making or setting priorities for yourself. There are a lot of things that you need to consider. One of them that I've already mentioned is time and growth. Time and growth, your personal growth, your development, your growth journey. Don't compare yourself with me. And I shouldn't compare myself with you watching me right now. If you are watching us, please do indicate, like the video, and please help us and share. Make a comment. Let me know where exactly you are watching us from, where you are watching us from. It will be very, very important for me to know where exactly you're watching me from. And please give me the likes, give me the subscribe to this channel if you've not yet subscribed to it. And as well, please help share this video for somebody to really benefit from what we are sharing on setting wrong priorities as a little thing with deadly consequences. All right, we are done with looking at the fact that for you to be able to set the right priorities, the first thing you must consider is your time, growth, and development. It is going to help you personal development, your self-development. Can it be able to permit me to do this and do it effectively? Can I do this and do it excellently well? Do I have the maturity? Do I have the right empowerment to be able to take this step at this point? When you think of that, it will help you to make the right set the right priorities for yourself, and the results will really be amazing. Take for example, uh, a child of the age of 9 or the age of 8 getting pregnant or being given into marriage and having to bear children at that tender age of 8, at that tender age of 9. I know we have had rare cases of children at the age of 9 giving birth to children, but it was a complicated journey. It wasn't an easy one, and it is not a normal process. If you and I know what the human system is, the system of a young girl at that age of 8, at that age of 9, at that age of 10, at that age even 11, even 12 and 13 is still very, 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 very tender for that child to be able to carry another child in their womb. Imagine a child at that point being given into marriage, and the child is getting married to an old man, a big, a mature man. How is it going to look like for that child? How is it going to look like for the tender looking body of that child in the place of sexual intercourse with the man, in the place of being able to bear a child for that man? You see, it will be a lot of pain, and it will be a near death situation, because even though at a certain point in the life of that girl child she has to bear children, the phase of maturity, the physical maturity of the body of that girl child has to be considered for that child to for childbearing to be set as a major or a top priority in the life of that girl child. The maturity, the physical growth, the physical maturity, the physical development of the girl child has to be considered for that particular result to be produced perfectly well at the right time, with right results that will bring joy to everyone, not putting the life of a child in danger at the age of 9 for the child to start bearing kids, to get married to an old man, mature, fully body fully formed and strong, and on a child who is just barely trying to have strong bones. You see, so at a certain point in that girl child's life, there's going to be that phase of marriage. Yes, but the child has to be mature. The body has to be mature enough, the mind, the emotions, the psychology, everything about that girl child has to be mature enough to handle everything that concerns marriage, including childbearing, including the challenges that come with it. How mature is she to be able to handle marital challenges and be able to have a fulfilled life? So you have to consider time, growth, and development if you will be able to make the right or set the right priorities. Secondly, you have to consider the kind of results that you want to have. Are these results, if I take this particular step, would I have sustainable results? Or what I'm looking for is just immediate satisfaction? You should think sustainability and not just immediate satisfaction. Immediate satisfaction most at times is, okay, if I take this step now, I'm going to have 100,000 francs. I'll pay my rent. I will buy some clothes for myself. I'll pay my fees. I'm going to have some food to eat in the house. And yes, you convince yourself, because obviously you need to be fine. You need to eat. You need to live. You need to be able to pay your bills. You need to be able to go to school. That's right. But what if the decision you are taking to have money, the source of money you are trying to chase to be able to buy those things for yourself at this point, it will give you 100,000 francs now, but it will cut your life short. You won't even be able to live on to see the next day, before even talking about you being able to go to that school that you are selling your life, you are selling yourself to be able to have 100,000 francs probably to pay the fees. You know, there was one pathetic story that I came across on social media some months ago, that was a story of a young lady in Boya who actually went out and had sex with a man for money. And when she came back, immediately she got to her house, we maggots started flowing out of her vagina. Like maggots started flowing out indiscriminately out of her vagina. And the entire, cité, the entire students' house was confused. They were like, she started crying, she started shouting, and opened up her body. Her floor was filled with maggots coming out of her. She was just coming from having a few minutes, a moment of sex with a man, because she needed money to meet up with her school needs, or probably she needed money to match up with her mates when it comes to the trends in the university environment. So she had to go in there and open up herself to a man she knew nothing about. She opened up herself probably to a cultist, or maybe to a dead man, who knows. And the money was given to her, but did she live to even eat the money? Did she live to use that money to do whatever she did that act for? She wasn't able to live to see that. She saw herself, you know, discharging maggots while she was still breathing. How traumatizing that was to her. She kept crying. The students were streaming into her room with cameras and asking her questions. She just kept saying that, oh, it has gone wrong for me today. Oh, it has gone wrong for me today. At a certain point, blood started oozing out as the maggots were oozing out, flowing out of her vagina. And before we got the news, she was dead. That was a priority she set for herself. That were consequences. That was a consequence of wrong priorities. She put money ahead of her life and her health. She put money up ahead of her future. She did not see how selling her body, how opening up herself to men for the sake of money was going to be her doom, was going to be her the cause of her death. She did not see that. She just thought of how much she was going to make in 30 minutes being with the man, or probably in few hours being with the man. She saw just the amount the man proposed to her. Hundreds of thousands, yes, in few minutes, in few hours. And she opened up herself to the man. She saw the money and she was blinded to her future. She was blinded to the consequences of what that act was going to cause her own very life. And she ended up not only receiving the hundreds of thousands that the man offered her, but she also received a swarm of maggots in her. And that finally ended her life prematurely. She couldn't even see the next day. The money she brought home, she didn't even eat a dime. She didn't even use a dime from it, because she just reached her room and maggots started oozing out of her vagina. Then suddenly mixed up with blood, and then suddenly she died. Where was the money at that time? She was gone. Nobody to use the money. Nobody to, shout and say, oh, you are the most beautiful girl in this campus. Nobody to say that slay queen you are. Nobody to hail her. She was gone because she made the wrong choice. When you are in school, be in school. When you are in school, be in school. And think before you go on taking a particular step for money to facilitate certain things for you. Think about how dangerous or how sustainable that particular step could be to you, so that you can be able to take the right decision at the right time. We also saw in the scriptures, that's the book of Genesis, chapter 25, and I think verse 31. We can see the story of Jacob and Esau, where we have um, Esau coming in, and Jacob is preparing a very beautiful stew of a bean stew, and he wants to eat of it. And simply because he was hungry that evening, instead of him thinking about his birthright, being able to give him more than enough food to both eat and feed other people, feed other nations, Esau did not think. He was so hungry that his hunger blinded him of the importance of his birthright. So he came to Jacob and said, "Oh, Jacob, do you mind to give me a plate of your stew? Let me have it. I am very hungry." And Jacob said, "There is no problem. I have enough to give you, but that is under the condition that you are going to sell your birthright to me." And Esau did not see how many plates of food, how many pots of food, how many camions of food that his birthright would be able to produce in the future, not only for him, but for his family, for his community, for nations to benefit from. He said, "What is a birthright? Come on, what is a birthright that I am very hungry and I'm asking you for stew? You are telling me to sell my birthright to you. What is the birthright? What is the birthright? Take it and give me a plate of stew." Oh my God. You know, sometimes when I think about this, when I reflect on this, I actually wonder if this guy even reflected for a few seconds, because even if you had to sell your entire birthright, you should have even said that, "Okay, for the rest of my life, you are going to be giving me stew to eat morning, afternoon, evening. You will give it to all my children and children's children unto the last generation. At least let it be that you wanted to sell the birthright and at least you sold it expensively." But he asked for just a plate of food for being hungry one evening. This is what happens to many young people in our generation. You are hungry now, 2 days, 3 days. You've not cooked the luxury kind of food that everybody around you in your environment is cooking. You've not had the best of fashionable wares to display around the campus, and you think that you are already a dead man. You think your own world has come to an end. So you are so desperate that you go and open up yourself to a man, you sell yourself to a sugar mommy or a sugar daddy to have those things, and your birthright is gone. And some of us, we start scrambling to have a favor. We are struggling to even be favored in one way or the other. We forget that maybe in one of the our intercourse with a sugar mommy or a sugar daddy, we sold our birthright without knowing. We exchanged our destinies without knowing. Your own might not be an immediate consequence like that which happened to this lady that we just talked about, but yours might be that you have exchanged your luck. You have exchanged that which makes you to be a favored child or a favored girl or boy in around. You have lost it to somebody because the person understood exactly what they were looking for. I always tell people that if somebody can stand before you and tell you that for 5 minutes of sex, I'm going to give you 500,000, I'm going to give you 1 million, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that, know that what that person is taking from you is more expensive than that money the person is giving you. Know that what that person is looking for from you will produce tons and tons of thousands, hundreds and hundreds of thousands, millions and millions of that particular thing that person is giving you at that point. People come to you to give this because they want to have this. And if somebody says that for just 5 minutes of sex, for just 5 minutes of pleasure with you, I'm going to give you 500,000, I'm going to give you 1 million, my sister, my brother, know that what that person is about to take from you is more expensive than what they are giving you. So guard your life before you take a decision, before you set a particular priority, before you make anything to take the top position on your scale of preference. Please think about the sustainability of that particular thing in your life before you go on taking that particular step. Else, you are going to destroy your life, you are going to frustrate your destiny, you are going to frustrate your life, and you are even going to die in the process, as we have seen. Lastly, I want to let us know that in everything you do in this world, think about the fact that you are created by God and He created you for a reason. He has a purpose for your life. His will for your life is primordial. His will for your life is that which should be put first. It should be superimposed above every other thing that you do. So anything, any thing on your scale of preference right now or on your priority list that does not help you to fulfill God's will for your life and God's purpose for your life, please drop it. It will drag you to your grave and it will destroy your life. It will destroy the lives of people around you whose lives or whose destinies are tied to yours, and it's only going to bring pain and not joy. I think at this point, we can call it quit for the day because we are already out of our time. And I really do wish that those of you who have been able to follow us on CBS Radio FM 101.0 right up to this point, do help us and share this video. Share it widely. Let it reach out to so many people so that the many lives can be imparted. And this is Atancha Zita on the program The Breed Without Greed on CBS Radio FM 101.0. See you next Saturday, same time, 11 to 11:45. God bless you. Have an amazing life. Everyone in this nation got so much to contribute to the building of your nation. Don't run away from your nation. Man can say you are good for nothing. But Jala says you are the best for something.
Your concert is tomorrow now.
Yes, yes,
I had one
yes. Wow, that's a... Okay. Let me see how I can conclude our session. Thank you so much for following us. I saw you. Attention, Natalie. Thank you so much for following. Please do well to share so somebody can benefit from this live session. And from time to time, we'll be coming up again to share more insight with us. It's very, very important. God bless you.